Hello and welcome to a 4v4 on Forged Alliance Forever. Got some great players in this one. One of the last games I casted had some of these players. We got the tag team plus Build More Tanks, Raging, Uber, and Tag Rock. This is the tag team on the right side. They're taking on some very good players. We got Voodoo playing his UEF, going second air. Also got Backlund playing Cybern. Freshie and Armageddon, Seraphim and Seraphim. So let's see how this game turns out. I think it'll be pretty massive. I will definitely miss things. Apologize for that ahead of time. So in the middle here we got some civs, pretty good mass, but they got T2 PDs, T2 anti-air. Actually, just T1 PDs and T2 anti-air. And this is actually an arty. So it takes a little effort to take that mid spot. We see very early bombers here from Tag Rock going against Arma. And let's see how well this works. It's an Aeon bomber from Tag Rock. And actually Uber Geek sending his bomber there as well. So it looks like Armageddon getting grepped on early on. However, Arma is also bombing Tag Rock. Looks like he already got one kill. There goes a kill, and you can see Tech 1 anti-air defense from Armageddon is the counter. And you can see both Uber Geek and Rock have done the exact same thing. So you can see three very good players here going with Tech 1 stationary anti-air for defense. Looks like Rock is going to choose not to use his bomber. He's going to go around and bomb Freshie. Freshie still, he does have a couple of mobile anti-airs. This map is very spread out, so these bombers, it looks like Build More Tanks is going to try to take out some of these NGs getting the mass spots. So that is the early action from minute 3. We can see here this game is basically just a bunch of icons. When we zoom in, we see here Tech 1 Interceptor is going to be very useful for Backlund. Also, you need a lot of radar coverage so you can actually spot those bombers. And this is the bomber from Tag Rock, still with no kills. It's just mostly reconnaissance. Will it get the first kill? There it goes, but then it flies over the anti-air and gets killed. So that early bomber from Tag Rock finally pays off in minute 4 and then dies. We're seeing some of the first drops in the game. Voodoo is going to drop Build More Tanks and a drop to the middle from Raging. It looks like this arty does not have radar, so as long as you don't get close to it, you're fine. Bombers coming in from Voodoo against Build More Tanks. And this drop is a bunch of NGs. They're going to establish a whole bunch of Tech 1 land factories. And this bomber from Build More Tanks still got one kill. Going off map, it looks like Freshie has not killed it. A drop from Freshie to the middle as well, so Raging and Freshie are going to fight in the middle. And we see a whole bunch of floating artillery from Uber Geek actually coming all the way from his base across the map. And the bombers continue from Voodoo against Build More Tanks. Build More Tanks trying to get a second air factory. And here comes, it's already the 5th land factory on enemy territory from Voodoo, and he's going to be attacking Build More Tanks. Looks like Build More Tanks is getting his ACU into the action. Another drop into the middle, now this time from Backlund. Looks like he is dropping directly at this arty, and that was a bad drop. Bad placement. Uber Geek going into the ocean with his ACU, it appears. And both the Seraphim players here are spamming a lot of arty that goes on water. And you can see here, arty very useful at stopping naval production, early naval production. And we do see early navy from Voodoo, from Freshie. And this is going to be a pretty tough fight for Build More Tanks. He's facing a 6 Tech 1 land factory spam plus a T1 PD, so it's going to take more than an ACU to take care of that problem. And this floating arty being very effective, shutting down naval production from Armageddon. There is navy from Rock, is making some Tech 1 frigates. And in the middle so far it looks like Freshie does have the better base. Rage is still trying to get something started. Really the big thing in this game is this successful drop from Voodoo, making a base on the other side. But also, of course, in the middle here, this Armageddon getting double teamed by Ubergeek and Tag Rock. Fresh should be helping out. Now he's got a double RD drop coming in. And this air fight, yeah, he's definitely helping out with the air. Air is dominated by the top side. And here we're seeing numbers for Voodoo. See quite a few tanks for build more tanks as well. He's trying to get an ACU upgrade at 28 kills. Might be in a little bit of trouble. We see T2 air, some gunships coming out for build more tanks now. And Ubergeek actually going on the island, and we see this fight over the island. Looks like Rage has got a lot more factories now. Fresh sort of forgot about his base. And looks like finally a retreat from Rock here. Getting his Auroras all together. And now here comes some drops from Ubergeek trying to help out build more tanks. Build more tanks. Looks like he did have to cancel that upgrade. Actually, no, he does have T2. And we're seeing a drop from Raging. Raging brings in his ACU to help build more tanks out. Build more tanks has T2 NGs, T2 ACU. And that drop from Ubergeek got shut down. We gotta see air support from Vaclin for Voodoo. You're gonna see a pretty massive air fight. But it looks like a lot of players, Ubergeek now helping out the bottom. And on top, Arma and Fresh are doing a very good job against Rock. And the middle is being taken by Raging. And Ubergeek is building actually quite a bit of navy here. He's going to have a big naval plan in the middle, Ubergeek. Then I'll build more tanks here at 48 kills. Raging helping out, making a lot of Tech 1 PD. And this is just purely T1. It's probably not enough to counter 2 ACUs plus a lot of NGs. It's an early success from Voodoo, but good defense, good teamwork from Raging and build more tanks. And Raging is finally taking out the remnants of Freshy's base. He really did not put enough effort into the middle. And now they're going to lose. There's a lot of mass extractors in the middle, a lot of civs to reclaim. So that's a very big prize for Tag Team. This air fight continues, but it looks like Arma has plenty of air. We see a lot of subs coming out for Rock. And this floating RD fight continues. Some gunships from Vaclin helping out, and more drops coming in from Ubergeek, sort of flying directly into enemy territory. This is a very hopeful drop. This is a T2 transport, it has a pretty good health. It looks like Armageddon should be able to take care of this drop with his ACU. And now it appears the Voodoo has destroyed his units, actually self-destructed, and now he's reclaiming it himself. That's a good move. No need to feed the other team, so looks like he is canceling this mission. So put good pressure on build more tanks. And this is a massive drop coming in for Tech 1, 5 Tech 1 transports. The 6th one coming in, but it looks like they flew into a cloud of Tech 1 interceptors. Fresh, he needs to drop these on the ground immediately. It looks like he is going to drop off 4 of those. And now here come the gunships, all this floating RD. He's going to get massacred by Raging. Gunships from Vaclin trying to prevent the Ubergeek from getting a naval production base here. And actually Vaclin is in a position to make a good T2 Navy, but he's not doing that. It looks like he's just teching. If you look at Vaclin's base, got a T3 power, he's able to make T3 air. So you're going to have a nice T3 air production from the top side. And now we're going to begin to see some T2 naval fights. We see armor, T2 destroyer, T2 destroyer from Ubergeek as well. This is Seraphim on Seraphim. Doesn't look like Rock is producing too much, but he's got a nice submarine force. Now we have Freshy and Armageddon here working together. Cruiser coming out for Armageddon. And it looks like it's Tech 1 Navy from Voodoo at this point. Raging getting T3 air as well. Is going to get first needs to get a T3 power if you want to spam T3 air. Still only T2 air from Ubergeek. And now it appears that Rock has lost his naval production, and Florey already is making it on his land, but he's protecting with gunships. This is all about taking air control before you can do anything else. And now it looks like the production, naval production from Vaclin is going to be under attack from Raging. This is a good move from Raging. This is pretty nice Air Force. But we're going to see T1 and T3 versus T1 here, but it looks like Raging might have the numbers. And really, this is a great weapon here to bombard from far away, plus give you an advantage for air fights. Looks like Raging actually won that battle with T1. This unit right here is going to get a lot of kills. So now on the top, really all the hope comes with Ubergeek being able to spam a pretty good navy, but he is having some problems. But a lot of gunships as well. Build more tanks, sending in gunships to help Rock out. There's 4 kills for that cruiser so far. T2 Navy being spammed by Voodoo now. So Voodoo should have a pretty good advantage against Build More Tanks. Build More Tanks had a lot of problems. He does have Raging here on the bottom helping him out. And a drop coming in from Freshy. It's going to drop directly on Build More Tanks base. And here we see subs versus destroyers, and these subs from Rock, more reconnaissance than anything else. Looks like this drop from Freshy got shot out of the air. Now we got T3 air from Raging and T3 air from Vaclin. So we gotta say the naval fight is somewhat in the top team's favor, but air is being dominated by the bottom team. There's way more T1 air. These gunships are really keeping this navy at bay. Still have this cruiser with 9 kills getting hit by some torpedo bombers. And more torpedo bombers coming out for Rock. So we'll see, it's a very even battle here. Very big advantage though for the tag team is that they have taken over the middle. This is a lot of mass extractors. And now finally T3 air from Vaclin is gonna try to wipe out that T1 air force from Raging. See the plans for Raging has got T3 power and a nuke planned for Raging. This is pretty early nuke. This is not even minute 20 yet. See plans here for Vaclin. Plenty of T3 power, air production. Freshy still working on drops it seems. And armor mostly Navy. This cruiser, 17 kill cruiser here. And this is T3 Air Force, looks like is taken for Vaclin. And if we have Air Force plus Navy, it's going to put Rock into a lot of trouble. We are seeing T3 gunships now from Raging Squirrel. And this air fight continues. It's a lot of T1 from both Voodoo and Ubergeek in the area. And the air is one for the top side, supported by cruisers. On the bottom here we have Voodoo coming in with a destroyer and a cruiser. Some raiding gunships from Rock here. Some T2 mask extractors not protected. Might as well raid if you can. Now here come torpedo bombers from Rock. They probably will only get one pass, fly into a cloud of ASF, but should be able to take out this cruiser. And more of them coming in. And it appears, yeah, the cruiser has been taken out. Problems for Build More Tanks here. He really doesn't have a Navy, and Navy is going to be won by Voodoo on the bottom. And let's see if Ubergeek is actually underwater here with his ACU. He'd get an upgrade. Looks like he's got T3 now. And T3 gunships trying to kill Navy, being pretty successful, but Vaclin sending in his ASF. ASF from both sides fighting here. Very even battle. And actually it looks like the Auroras and these gunships from Rock doing a good job. Ubergeek actually reclaiming units. If you have T3, that's a lot of build capacity here, reclaiming destroyers. Good move from Ubergeek. Raging asking Uber to not die. Here's the nuke, it's been paused. Looks like Raging doesn't have enough power to support that, and a lot of trouble if we build more tanks here with these cruisers. It's going to be a cruiser spam and a lot of T2 gunships from Freshie here in the bottom. And these torpedo bombers from Rock and Ubergeek have been very impressive shutting down the Navy. They've shown that even with very even air fights, you can use Air Force to shut down Navy. One thing that's surprising, no mobile flak from either Armageddon or no floating flak, T2 flak from Seraphim from either Armageddon or Freshie would really shift this fight. Be very nice units to have along with this floating arty, as well as some shields if you have Aeon. But let's see if Voodoo can put a lot of pain on this team. Slowly taking out anti-air here. It's going to take a lot of shields to protect this bottom base. Appears that a drop is being planned for Ubergeek. It's going to be a massive Tech 2 drop. Now you can see Ubergeek has got T3 anti-air, T2 torpedo launchers. And this T3 anti-air is very good from Seraphim. Looks like scouts coming out from Raging, D3 gunships, broadswords from Build More Tanks. Let's see here, Vaclin just upgrading his base. So this top team has got a scout Raging. You got to find out there's a nuke. It's already a quarter of the way done, and that's really going to turn the game. Here come the destroyers, Seraphim destroyers. So a pretty tough naval fight here on the top. It's a very nice gunship force from Freshie. Let's see what they attack. It looks like the middle is being taken back for the top side. That's a big loss. It's going to be a lot of dead units here to reclaim as well. And now Ubergeek are running out of the water. So for Raging, it's just ASF and nuke. Rock is completely out of the water. He's spamming ASF as well. And ASF planned for Ubergeek. They all have T3 power. It's going to be a massive drop from Ubergeek if we can pull that off. And on the bottom here, the biggest problem for the tag team is this Navy from Voodoo. Ubergeek actually quite low on health here, about 8,000 health, facing quite a few destroyers. And here comes the drop. It is 4 T2 Seraphim transports protected by some ASF. You can see multicolored ASF here, and a lot of gunships from Freshie. So both teams have plans. It looks like they're not aware of this massive drop from Ubergeek, and this nuke from Raging halfway done already. A lot of torpedo bombers coming out for Build More Tanks and Raging. They really gotta shut down this naval, and Ubergeek actually going to 4,000 health. This is very dangerous. So Ubergeek dying in the ocean and dropping at the same time. We're gonna see an ASF battle, more drops coming in, and that's a lot of gunships that are gonna be killed in this fight. It looks like Vaclin does not have enough air force to protect these gunships. Ubergeek at 2,000 health, and this drop is going to be successful from Ubergeek. That's going to be very terrible for Arma, because that is a lot of floating arty. This Navy from Voodoo continues to create problems, and this is just an epic drop from Ubergeek. Actually dropped on 2 different spots. Arma has nowhere to go, and Ubergeek surviving with 1,000 health coming out of the water. Massive torpedo bombers from this entire side, and it looks like air is won by Raging. Vaclin doesn't really have the numbers to do anything about this. A lot of gunship from Freshie didn't really get to kill anything, are being wiped out, and these transports actually got out alive. And you can see here Arma's base slowly disappearing. Excellent drop from Uber. And you can see these unprotected mass extractors getting wiped out by Voodoo's cruisers, and Ubergeek is now on land. And we gotta remember, this nuke is really gonna put an exclamation point for this success from Ubergeek. So Ubergeek really wiping out quite a bit of Armageddon's eco, taking out T3 mass extractors, huge losses. There's one T2 mass extractor, two T2 mass extractors left, still getting hit. And now actually this floating arty is going to attack the naval production from Armageddon. Major problems. See here, Fresh, you know, still making gunships. Probably want to make ASF. Voodoo making an anti-nuke. It looks like they finally have found out there is a nuke. So this game has been all about air so far. The team that's had the stronger navy really hasn't had as much success, and now we're seeing gunships going to clean up this floating arty. It's a devastating drop from Ubergeek. And now we're going to see shields versus torpedo bombers. And another drop from Ubergeek. I guess if it works, might as well keep doing it. And here comes the nuke, minute 27. Armageddon is asking, please kill me, because he's really been set back a lot. I guess that's the way to say it. But it looks like this nuke is going to Vaclin. Vaclin has had the best eco, and he's making this anti-nuke, which is now going to be finished. It's an excellent play from Tag Team once again. And this is just so many torpedo bombers. This navy from Voodoo has just got wiped out. We're gonna see this nuke. There's that base, and here comes the nuke. Look at all these Cyberns. It's gonna be terrible. Yeah, that wipes out basically that entire base. It's a very effective nuke from Raging. This should put this game to an end. I don't know how much longer people are going to play, but extremely good defense, and air has won this game for Tag, and then an exclamation point with the nuke. Still see Voodoo here does have an anti-nuke, making some T3 anti-air, and a massive drop coming in from Uber. Looks like he's going for Voodoo. And air is going to be controlled completely by Tag Team, so they can basically do whatever they want. This is great anti-naval. Look at those destroyers just getting wiped out. Here comes the drop from Ubergeek against Voodoo. And that's going to be devastating. And Uber did say that this is just as effective as nukes. The only difference is that nukes can't be shut down by air. So if you do have air control, no reason to build nukes. Uber almost died in this game, if we remember. But yeah, this is devastation. Dropped both Voodoo and Arma in this one. And Raging has nuked Vaclin and one air. Build More Tanks has basically survived against Voodoo, and Rock survived against Arma and Navy. A lot of gunships from Rock. Looks like Voodoo's base is completely wiped out. Not clear where Voodoo's ACU is at this point. Yeah, he's in the water. He's not going to come out. It's just devastating to have your base be killed slowly like this. It's even worse than getting hit by a nuke, really. You get to watch your units get killed one by one. At least Vaclin just decided I'll go up in smoke in a few seconds. So let's see the plans. Still an air spam, restore spam from Rock. Looks like more drops for Ubergeek. Raging is spamming ASF. Probably is going to have another nuke very soon. The 211 kills for that nuke. We did see a megalith here is going into the water from raging. Build more tanks, making strat bombers. Looks like Build More Tanks has left the game because it was just too boring for him. And the only player who's really didn't get completely wiped out is Freshy, and he is getting some upgrade. It's not just a slow death here with those torpedo bombers. We got restorers. Yeah, Build More Tanks has left because of boredom, leaving his base, or Rex and his base to raging. Looks like Voodoo is going to get on a transport. He does have a shield, so if he drops off, he might be able to assassinate Raging's ACU. So actually be a nice move. Not clear if he has enough intel, but UEF ACU with the shield and perhaps gun can take a Cybern ACU 1v1. This will be very interesting. This megalith would really help, but it is in the water. It doesn't look like Voodoo knows that he has the potential to kill Raging here. He is just gonna go directly to Raging's base. Perhaps that's not the right choice. I can see here Uber Geek with the missile launcher on his ACU, move it into the ocean. Successful ACU drop from Voodoo. He's going to get his first kills with the ACU. He's got T3 ACU. He's going to build a lot of Tech 1 PD. Air is coming back for Raging. This is some gunships way behind enemy territory. This is a Whalers, T3 Cybern. These are actually stealthy. It's wiping out mass extractors. And Voodoo here with a very nice drop. A lot of Tech 1 PD, a lot of damage per second very quickly. But here come the T3 gunships. Really nothing that Voodoo can do about those, and those are knocking out his Tech 1 PD. Actually killing it faster than he can build it. So Vaclin, Freshy, and Arma still alive. Build More Tanks is gone. It would be very interesting if Voodoo did drop Raging, took him out. It would become a 2v4. And now here comes the megalith from Raging. Voodoo with 40 kills, overcharging some NGs. And he is going to die here at 33 minutes. It's a lot of restorers from Rock. Vaclin could probably go for, well, he doesn't have enough power. It'd be nice to go for a telesnipe. That's always a best desperation move, but I need a lot of power for that. Now here come restorers, should take out Armor finally here. Minute 34. See here Freshy on a transport, and there goes Arma. 34 death by restorers, and we see both of the ACUs from Vaclin and Freshy going off map on the transports, and it looks like Raging should be able to take this one out. Nope, he did not see. Another nuke from Raging. And here comes Freshy. drops Rock's base. There's a nuke against Freshy's base. See, 2 nukes for this nuke launcher, 369 kills. That's pretty nice. And here comes Vaclin. This is what Voodoo should have done. He could have killed Raging. And there goes Freshy. So here at 35 minutes we should see. Hey, that's an Awasa here from Ubergeek. He should bomb Rock's base. That would be going out with style. And Raging kills off Freshy, and this game's over. So hopefully people enjoyed. Great win for the tag team.